Jim, the former Canucks captain Bo Horvat is heading to Long Island. Now, the Canucks, they're clearly cleaning house, making big changes. First, it was the head coach. Now is Bo Horvat. The Islanders, this is a team that has dealt with injuries. They've struggled on offense, and now they pick up Horvat, which I feel could be a huge asset for them to make the playoffs because what he brings to the table from an offense standpoint is just incredible. So, what do you make of this? First of all, do you feel that the Islanders could make the playoffs with this addition? Number one. And number two, do you think that the Canucks got solid returns?
Yeah, so, everybody was shocked Monday when the deal was happening with Horvat going to the Islanders. It happened around, I believe, like 4, 5 o'clock Monday afternoon. And, you've heard rumblings that the Islanders were going to get a guy. They were going to pick up something because they had to. Their offense had been struggling. Their the power play 31st in the league. Lou really hadn't done much. General manager Lou Lamoriello hadn't done much in this last couple of off seasons. Felt this team was, right there, and they won 2 straight. However, everybody knew they needed a goal scorer. And as we talked about last week, the mess in Vancouver and things were coming down the pipeline. Horvat goes to the Islanders. Great pickup. You get a 30-goal scorer. This kid's done it back-to-back years. He's having a career season. I think this is what the Islanders needed to at least push their offense and get them going back into a playoff spot with, Buffalo right there. Florida's pushing. Even in their own division with, New Jersey, the Rangers, Washington, and Pittsburgh. So I like the addition. What they gave up and what Vancouver got, I think it's a fair deal. I mean, you get a conditional first-round pick in 2023, so it's top 12 protected. If the ping pong balls go the Islanders' way and it's in the top 12, then it becomes an unprotected 2024 first-round draft pick. Great. You give up Anthony Beauvillier. He hasn't been, he's been struggling, but maybe a fresh start for him. And then Atu Rati, one of their top prospects. And again, the Islanders don't really have a big prospect pool, but he was the tops on their prospects. So the Canucks get a rebuilding piece, a center, maybe a third line center at best, but you never know. Again, we haven't really seen much because he only played in the World Juniors a little bit in Finland and Bridgeport. So maybe he can turn into a second line center. Again, these kids need to develop. But what the Islanders gave up and what the Canucks got, I think it's good. Now, the real question is, can they sign Horvat to the extension?
Yeah, that's the big question. Whether he's going to sign the extension, especially after the season. In terms of Anthony Beauvillier, I feel that I have a good feeling that he's going to thrive in Vancouver. Yes, he has been struggling this year and even last year, but I feel like having a fresh start, playing for a new team, a new city, I feel that he would get going. So I do think that it's a fair deal on both sides. But listen to the last 5 seasons of how Bor Horvat numbers have been. 2018-19 season, 61 points. 2019-20 season, 53 points. Then the 2021 season, 39 points. But then last year and this year, he's had over 50 points. So last year he had 52. So far this year he has 54 points in total. So clearly, the Islanders should be happy about this move, but the extension, let's see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, no, I mean, when he was in Vancouver, there were talks and they had made him an offer. Rutherford and Patrick Alvin made him an offer, but he felt that he didn't deserve them. He deserved JT Miller money, which was $8 million. And I totally agree with that. I think he deserves that kind of money. Now, Barzal's new extension kicks in next year at $9.125 million. Horvat's going to have a career season. Don't forget the stats that you read off, the one season, 1920. Don't forget that's a COVID shorted season. So he could have had more points that year. So, and the Canucks were in the bubble, and he was one of the big reasons why the Canucks went as far as they did along with Thatcher Demko. But immediately he's the leading point getter and goal scorer on this team. The next 2 guys I think on the Islanders is Brock Nelson and Anders Lee with 19 goals each. And maybe this is going to spark Matthew Barzal because they've been needing a player to play with Barzal. In my opinion, of this is you let Horvat play center and you move Barzal to the wing, and let's see what these guys can do creatively, because we've seen around the league when you have two star players, sometimes you have to play them together. Chicago did it for years and won 3 Stanley Cups when Kane and Taves were together. So I think Horvat and Barzal are going to be a great combination for the Islanders.
Yep, I agree. And also, I'm curious to see if the Canucks will make any more moves by the trade deadline, because so far they're making something. So I'm looking forward to see if they're going to have more up their sleeve.
Yeah, I think they're going to have more up their sleeve for sure. I mean, I think obviously Brock Vester's name's out there. I think a team like New Jersey probably can go after him. They're probably going to get a nice return for him. Luke Shen is a player that teams are looking for, depth defenseman. Again, we're going to see, because Tocchet really likes this kid. So maybe they get him to an extension. They have other pieces, like maybe can they shed salary, like a Connor Garland, like a Tyler Myers? Can teams get guys like that? I know they believe their core is going to be Pedersen, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, JT Miller, and Andrei Kuzmenko. So, and again, Thatcher Demko's name's out there as well. So the Canucks going to be active. This is the first of many moves. And with the Islanders and Horvat, I think they can get a deal done. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I think they can get it done. They weren't able to talk, similar to, it's a similar situation with the Pajot deal. He signed it the same day as the deadline. I think you give it a month or so and then see where it goes. You never know. They could flip them too. So, but I think the Canucks are definitely going to be active. And I think the Islanders aren't done either.